please join me in welcoming the cast and crew of Andor. We have executive producer Sana Wallenberg, Cyril himself, Kyle Soller. You know him as Saw Gerrera, the legend Forrest Whitaker. She's frightening on the show, but a delight in real life. We have Denise Gough. And I so enjoy getting to know this character more and more. Mon Mothma herself, Genevieve O'Reilly. Another favorite, Bix herself, Audrey Arjona is here. The show wouldn't be called what it is without him. He is Cassian Andor, Diego Luna. And the mastermind behind it all, creator Tony Gilroy. Not bad, huh? Tony and Diego, I want to start with you guys. Season 1 was both critically acclaimed and embraced by fans. They're here tonight. You guys look amazing, by the way. I see so many great looks, fits. Yes, love that. When did it really hit with you guys that it was resonating and really capturing the audience that it did?
We had no idea. I mean, we made the whole first season COVID, under a blanket at Pinewood. Nobody paid attention. There's no test screenings or focus groups because it's Star Wars. Everything's secret. We finished and we wow, we think it might be okay. And, we started dribbling it out. And, by week 3, it was Christmas every week for us. It was very affirming.
How has your understanding of the character of Cassian changed? And what was it going into season 2? How you felt about him and his...
I mean, I had to keep my emotions on the side, right? Because I know, like the audience, I know what happens in Rogue One. But he doesn't, and he shouldn't. So every promise he makes, it means one thing for him, and for me as an actor, it means another. It's fully charged of emotion.
This season covers 4 years of stories across new planets. I have some figures here. Over 140 sets, 700 costumes, 152 creatures, and 30 droids. So, what was the highlight or challenge, perhaps, for you of bringing all of that to life?
We knew, he and I knew, this is a one-shot deal. You never get an opportunity to work on a canvas like this, never get to work with material like this, get to tell a 1,500-page story about revolution and ordinary people when history comes knocking on their door. And, I mean, when if someone says you can build the Brooklyn Bridge, you really want to go for it.
Zana, can you expand on that? And what was your favorite highlight or challenge of how much was done here?
Being able to continue this journey was just incredibly exciting. We were very proud of what we had done in season 1 and kind of were ready and couldn't wait to go on.
Despite the show being called Andor, there are so many characters that have incredible moments, and it's really not about just any one person, and we get to learn so much about Mon Mothma, who is one of my favorites. Genevieve, I mean, this season we get to see more and more about what's behind and beneath her composure. So what surprised you most about her arc, and how did it shift your understanding of her?
They laid the ground beautifully in season 1, but in this season in particular, they really elevate her. You really see who this woman is, what she has to risk, how she does it, and what her part and her impact in the rebellion is. And as me, for an actor, that was, everything, but also for the character, for her to have this voice and this moment. I was really excited to be a part of that, and I can't wait for people to see it, because I think you're going to be really satisfied.
Absolutely. Another amazing woman in the galaxy is Bix, of course. Love her so much. She's been through quite a lot in season 1, so I'm sure this season will really dig into that aftermath. How does that shape her role in the rebellion and her relationships going into this new season?
It's probably one of my favorite parts about the season, that in the middle of this rebellion, in the middle of all this chaos, there's a really beautiful love story between these two characters.
Dedra is she's composed, she's driven, she's terrifying. What was most fun or maybe surprising to you about jumping back into that mindset, especially as the Empire just grows more and more ruthless?
God, I mean, this season is tougher. It's darker, and I really got to understand playing somebody who can't see outside the system that they're in. You know, she is an Imperial through and through, and yeah, she doesn't get to feel things that other people get to feel, really. You know, her vulnerability is only behind closed doors, all very locked up, and you know, in order to be truly vulnerable, you have to be seen, and poor Dedra just can't be seen.
Hello, Mr. Forrest Whitaker. Okay, Saw Gerrera is such a pivotal piece of the universe, and this show explores the many ideas of what a rebellion could be, should be, depends on who you ask. What has it been like for you digging even deeper into this character and coming back?
He's a rebel in that way, I mean, but he's a rebel that crosses lines because he's living by whatever means necessary. He'll do what he needs to do.
Hi, Kyle.
Hey.
How are we doing over there? I like the beard. Cyril Maishela, he is one of the most tightly wound characters in Star Wars, and I kind of love him.
Really?
A little bit. He's a little, yeah. What's going on under the surface for him this season, and what was it like tapping back into kind of his quiet chaos? He's a little chaotic.
This season, I mean, he's in a really good spot as we find him in season 2. He's got a promotion. He's opening himself up to the idea of intimacy, which ultimately starts to change him in ways that we haven't seen before.
This is a story through all the tears, laughs, all of it. This is a story about hope. Diego, do you have a final message for fans as we head into this final chapter of the journey? No pressure.
First of all, there's nothing like working for something that says Star Wars, you know? I don't think I'll ever go back to something close to this. People talked a lot about at the beginning of the weight and the pressure. I would say just one thing. I mean, when we tell stories, when we decide to give life to a character and meaning to the words that you see, you know, written, and you put together something like this, you're hoping someone cares. And being in this show, having worked for your care, for your love for Star Wars, knowing you're there, waiting for us to deliver, it's the big difference, you know? There's nothing like this. Thank you for the love you have for what we do, because I'm fortunate, you know, and I think we're all fortunate of working and telling a story you care about, and I hope we deliver. I hope you're proud and happy with this second season and with Andor in general, because we put our hearts and our passion behind it. But it's because of you, so thank you so much.
Your cast and crew of Andor, thank you everybody so much.